If your home is stressing you out because every surface is covered with the remnants of meals and half-consumed drinks, of projects you've set aside for a minute, of things you're using just not right now, of things you've forgotten or you wish you had the gumption to make a decision about, while you sit on your couch and think, why don't I just get up and do something about it for the 1000th time? Know that you are not alone. It is normal to be struggling. There is so much going on. It is okay to give yourself a break every once in a while. It is absolutely fine to say, I don't have the energy for this right now, or this just isn't a priority for me at the moment. Of course, you want your home to be a relaxing, safe place for you to retreat to when the day is over. But if that isn't what it is right now, that is okay too. I'm not saying it's wrong to want to change. I'm not saying a neat and tidy home isn't worth having. If I believed those things, I wouldn't practice decluttering the way that I do. But I am saying that it's normal to be struggling. And when you're struggling, it's normal for your home to be a mess. When change is coming at you 100 miles a minute and the ground beneath you feels unsteady, often your home reflects that. Often my home reflects that. In those moments, it is hard for me to remember that my home doesn't have to be perfect all the time. Instead, I often hold up the state of my home like it's some kind of mirror of my soul, a metaphor for why my life feels out of control. I think, I can fix this, so why don't I? But here's the truth. That's not how life works. Sometimes, especially when everything is falling apart, your home, the one controllable thing in your life, gets messy because you are busy elsewhere, holding everything together. Your ability to pick up after yourself is not some kind of prophecy about how organized you are in the rest of your life. I know I've thought for far too many times to count that if I can't keep something so simple as my home on track, then why should I assume I deserve success in the rest of life? Shouldn't I expect that things will only go my way if my entire life is in order? This is a lie we tell ourselves often. Keeping a home is not simple. It is the physical expression of hundreds of interlocking systems, competing priorities, and the constant flux of life. And often, there is one person, you, responsible for executing all of it. Even if you have a partner or family members who help, we, especially women, often view our homes as part of our identities. And here is the problem, or at least one of them. We place far, far too much emphasis on how things look. Our whole lives, we've judged our bodies, our hair, our ability to act like we aren't ever lonely, anxious, or confused. We want to look fine, like we have it all together. And as adults, we judge ourselves on how our homes look too. Everyone and their mothers are doing it, but as those same mothers used to say, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right. Your value doesn't come from how your home looks. My value, even as someone who makes content about her home, doesn't come from how my home looks, or how it functions, or my ability to keep up with it when life gets overwhelming. Your value and my value comes from the fact that we are here, that we are people with souls. But we have limits, and sometimes you do not have the capacity for everything you expect of yourself. Yes, keeping your home tidy is a worthy goal, but a messy home is not a failure of character. It is not necessarily a signal of laziness or a lapse in judgment. Our fates are not determined by some sort of karmic destiny based on the state of our homes. Good time and energy management is not about somehow fitting everything in. It's about knowing what things can wait for another day and what things can't. So if your home is stressing you out and you, like me, have a tendency to read something deeper into that, to self-criticize to the point of rage, to hate yourself and want to throw every single possession away because you believe you need to be punished, please, for the love of yourself and the people you live with, believe me when I say there is another way. You can figure out what you have time and space for in your life, but you don't have to do it all at once, and you certainly don't have to do it all today. Sometimes you need a nap, or a snack, or a chat with a good friend, or a nice long walk where you can process everything you're thinking and feeling. Because here's what I know. Sometimes when our homes are stressing us out, it's really not about our homes. We put so much pressure on ourselves for everything to be perfect, or truthfully, sometimes we're just putting pressure on ourselves to appear perfect. And we make it unnecessarily hard on ourselves to actually do the work. We guilt and shame and belittle ourselves into thinking that simply picking things up is some sort of monumental, insane task that we could never have the courage or energy to do. While in the same breath, we tell ourselves we're losers because this should be easier than it is. We are the problem, but not in the way that we think. If we could just take the pressure off, we'd probably find that the malaise that haunts all of our best efforts to change things about our spaces, to declutter, clean, and organize, disappears. And some days, it's not that deep. On those days, it is about our homes. They are the only thing that's really stressing us out. And I've made a lot of videos about that, and I promise I will continue. But for today, I want you to know, if your home is stressing you out, I see you. I'm with you. You will find solutions that work better for you. But if you don't have it figured out already, that is okay. Truthfully, no one does. I make these kinds of videos all the time, and I don't have it totally figured out. What we need from the spaces we live in is always changing. What serves you now will not necessarily work in 20 years. It might not even work in 1 week if this week gets any crazier. And that is as it should be. You are not a failure because you cannot force your life into a tiny little box that stays the same all of the time. The space you live is the middle of your ever-changing and evolving life made visible. You are right where you need to be, and you are doing your best, and that is enough. And it's important to me that you believe this, not just because it's good for your mental health, but because you will never berate yourself into creating the home you want. You might declutter, but if you do, you will probably find that it wasn't effective because you haven't decluttered for the life you actually want to live. You will have erased things from your life in your anger and despair that it turns out you actually needed. Or, even worse, you might find that you've robbed yourself of the ability to do anything at all besides add to the clutter and the stress. No, you will never berate yourself into the home that you want, but you can, piece by piece, day by day, understanding and compassionate step by step, start to carve out a space that serves the life you want to live. The best path forward is with love and grace for yourself and the space you call home. Hang in there. You got this.